Hey guys, Diego Saffon here. I'm an agent here in San Diego, California. I've been doing real estate for a while now, and this is Manuel Martinez, one of my friends, good friends, and a client of mine. So I met Manuel through mutual friends, and Manuel ended up buying his first property at the age of 24. And we're here to share a story. Right?
Yeah, so first of all, I'm here to share a story about how great of an experience it was to deal with Diego and how he kind of kickstarted this whole ownership experience. It started off with a random bike ride. We were by the beach after the ride, having a chit chat, and
Pouring up Torrey Pines, right?
Yeah, right along Torrey Pines.
We were suffering.
Yeah, then just along Torrey Pines, beautiful beach. I mean, people from San Diego know what it is. And yeah, he's talking to the group of friends about owning properties here in San Diego and how the time is now. I was just overhearing this guy. I'm like, just another sales guy giving his pitch, and word of thought afterwards, I was like, this guy may be right.
You know, I think that in that group, a couple of friends they always like to ask, oh, so what's the market looking like? Should I buy? And you always say like, yeah, you should buy, but it always sounds like the same thing, right? Yeah, you should always buy. Yeah, you should always sell if you own. But I guess what I was trying to basically come to the point that day was, we have a friend in common that, you know, was asking me a lot about it, and I just kept telling him like, you gotta do it. And I think you overhearing that, and then later you came to me, we actually started talking more about it, and you had more questions.
Yeah, it was just first the regular questions that everybody goes through. Is the time right now? It was during COVID, and people had all these uncertainties about the market.
Yeah.
And Diego was like, you know what? Historically, the best time was yesterday.
Yeah.
The sooner you get your foot in the door, the better it'll be.
Yeah.
And it's those little things that kind of started that itch. And I'm like, Diego, I reached out to him, asked a little bit more detailed questions.
Yeah. Well, and the whole idea was, for instance, okay, well, I probably don't qualify. Like, dude, how? I'm so young. What, I'm 24 at the time? You were 24?
24 at the time.
How am I gonna buy a house? I especially want to live somewhere downtown. Like, how am I gonna buy an apartment down there? They're so expensive.
Yeah.
But I said, let's just get together, run some numbers, talk to a lender, and you never know, right?
Yeah.
You never know. And then we start the process.
It came out of nowhere. I mean, that downtown opportunity wasn't even in my,
Vision.
In my vision. I couldn't even think of myself living downtown at the time. We were looking at houses, and it was not impossible. It was all about a bidding war.
Yeah.
So he put together a great team. They're like, you know what? You should look into this area of the city. And then he gave me some advice. Everything was shut down. There was no gyms. There was no ballpark, which we usually go to.
Yeah.
There was not a lot of restaurants or nightclubs. And he's like, downtown can be shut down forever. It'll come back, and it now is a great opportunity to go in there. It was a matter of months before everything came back to normal.
Yeah.
And downtown just...
Well, and then talking a little bit about like making that first offer, right? We found the unit you liked, right? That condo, that apartment in a building, high HOA, right?
Yeah, high HOA.
Which as a first time buyer, you're like, oh my gosh, these fees, like how am I gonna be able to make this sustainable?
Yeah.
But then again, we had that conversation. Like, I was also a first time buyer. I also went through those fears and that, you know, that anxiety of, can I really make this happen? And then basically we made that first offer. We negotiated. We got a good deal.
Not we. It's this guy. This guy made it happen.
Yeah, but it's teamwork, right?
Yeah.
I was telling you, like, we're a team. We're gonna put this together. And then what do you know? Like, a couple days later, it's like we're almost getting ready to close.
I remember clearly. It was 4th of July. Everybody was off. We were at the beach, and Diego calls me. He's like, "Hey, you ready to sign?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "The property's yours, so we gotta get the paperwork ready."
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. I was like, all right, it would be great 4th of July for me. From there, I think I was in the door probably like 15 days afterwards, thanks to the whole team behind Diego and all of his people that he put together. So yeah, it was a great experience all throughout, and yeah, definitely willing to go back if there's another transaction.
Yeah.
Which hopefully sooner than later will happen.
Standing there as a first-time home buyer, not really knowing what it was like to own a property, now buying a house, and now you've owned that house for about 4 years. what has it become, like your mentality? Like at the beginning you could not see that happening. Now you're at the point where you want to buy another house.
Definitely. And I couldn't see it happen, first of all, because there's a lot of uncertainty. You're like, what if I lose my job? What if I'm upside down on this house? What if the market crashes, which is the biggest concern everybody has? Well, one of his tips was you have to buy a property where if it all goes to shambles, you see yourself living there. So I was like, all right, I can't just buy something as an investment or see myself walking out the door at some point. No, see somewhere, like be somewhere that feels like home, that you're willing to be there no matter what. So that was the first thing. And then probably just keep it within your means, which I didn't know I was capable of paying so much down, because sometimes just lifestyle and partying and whatever consumes all your income, right? So you got to set a plan, build a little budget, and go after whatever is out there. Another thing that I remember Diego mentioning, he's like, as soon as you get in the door, your rent is never gonna go up. Be it 10 years, 15, 20, 30 years, which is the regular life span of a mortgage, your rent will always be the same. So I'm like, I was sold with all those little things that he just kept throwing at me.
And now you mean like the rent, you mean like basically the budget of your mortgage. It would always stay the same for the next 30 years. If you were renting.
Yeah, if I were renting.
Then that would go up.
Yeah, it will go up. And
it's insecure, right? Like you don't know what's gonna happen with rent.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you're gonna be kicked out or not.
Definitely.
Especially, and you don't have kids, but imagine, now if you have kids, then that's a big problem.
Being single, maybe you're willing to take more risks or whatever, but there's always that uncertainty. Being single, family, I know it'll be rougher if you got kids and you get kicked out of a rental, but it's a sense of security once you're there and you have the privilege of saying, this is mine, this is my house, and I'm welcome to have anybody over. I mean, yeah.
No, your home's beautiful. And I do want to congratulate Manuel, because I'm very proud of him, because he started very young with being a homeowner. And just to look at him right now and see where he's at, it's great.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you for everything, and just hit Diego for any of your real estate needs.
Thanks for watching Manuel's story. If you're thinking about buying your first home, check out the next video or reach out. I'd love to help you too.